All right, guys, welcome back. Today we've got Air Grid Championship, round 5 at Belgium. I figured it would be it would be better for the league overall if I just stream these races. I already raced quite a bit, so I'm a little bit burnt out at the moment, so I figured I might as well start cutting back a little bit and streaming. So I'm going to be streaming today. Let's have a look at a couple of things here. Looks like it's going to be a wet qualifying. That's very, very interesting. Let's have a look at the weather for the entire session here. Pull this up. As soon as we get some telemetry data, I will have something for you. Hello. Welcome. Sure, we have our qualifying layout selected. Let's see. Okay, so the race is going to be mixed conditions towards the end, and right now it's just going to be a completely wet qualifying. All right, so we'll be watching the race towards the end to see how the track conditions sort of fall away here at Spa. Let me also get the stream link. Put that in the chat as well. All right. Lots of cars on outlaps right now. Close this, close that. All right, we'll ride on board with Spark Hashira, who I believe is the current championship leader, unless it's Dust Incredible. Here, we'll look at the standings real quick so I have this correct. Spark Hashira is the championship leader with 75 points. Fridge is in second with 63. Jeffy 2K, who's not racing today, with 3. Vitalon, who's not racing today. So it's basically just a 2-horse race in terms of the Drivers' Championship, at least this round. But obviously, anybody really in contention here for the race win. So we shall see. It looks like it is not raining right now. Let me get that tab window pulled back up. We can look at the weather. Okay. Bear with me here for a second, guys. Trying to get my setup here a little bit more palatable than what I've had previously. All right, here we go. That's right, on board with Spark Hashira, going up through Rouge and Radion. Now onto the Kemmel Straight here. We'll see what sort of lap time he can do against his teammate Fridge, who is setting a purple first sector, so it'll be interesting to see where he can go. Looks like a personal best first sector, as to be expected here at the beginning of qualifying. We'll go ahead and switch over to his teammate, if I can find him here, going through towards Stavilo here. See what Fridge can do. Going to the third sector with a lot of battery. Getting a bit squirrely on the exit there. Looks like we've got a Ferrari spun around on track, but we'll see where Fridge can go here towards the end of the lap. Tiger Cape does set a purple middle sector, so we might see some differences in lap time here. Fridge goes Well, 152. Interesting. Oh, is it mixed conditions right now? Perhaps it is. Because our fastest time, yeah, it is. The rain's already coming down. So Secret Cave with a 152.6, that might actually be your pole position here, because the track is only going to get more and more wet as far as I'm aware. I don't know if the drivers will have another chance to go and set a lap. That might be it as far as qualifying is concerned, in terms of chances to set laps here. I'm gonna make some adjustments here real quick. I think we might be able to, since I'm only streaming at 60 FPS anyway, we might be able to just set the max FPS here to like 70, and then we can just raise these up. You guys won't be able to notice a difference. Anyway. I had these lower because it was kind of messing with my overlays, and I didn't realize that was the issue until now. I just realized if I set the FPS to, you know, the amount that you guys are going to be seeing anyway, it really doesn't matter very much. I don't think that anybody is going to improve necessarily at this stage now with the weather, so I might increase the frame rate a little bit just to make my life a little bit more, you know, enjoyable here, but just watching my graphics card utilization to see how much it ends up using here. Seems like it's still fine for the time being, but we do have Nova snapping on a lap here on the inters, 1.2 seconds slower. It does look like he is not going off. Anyway, right on board with Nova right now, but Dust Incredible is setting a good lap, so I'll hop on board with him. He set a purple first sector, but now he's down in the middle sector. Where is the Audi? There he was. There he is. On board with the Audi. He's about a second down on Secret Cape's time, but where can he go as he runs through the bus stop here? I don't think he's going to be close to that benchmark time set by Secret Cape. No, he's going to be far off from that. Good enough for 6th position, though. He crosses the line. Where can the Red Bull behind go? He comes across the line, puts him up into 11th. Fridge on an outlap here. Is he still on the soft tire? It does look like he is still on the soft tire. According to my data here, it does seem like the soft tire is still the way to go. If you are one of the drivers out there at the moment, with the mixed conditions, it is a bit tricky out there at this stage, but it does still seem like the soft tire is the way to go. Let's see. Can I even turn on... Maybe I can even turn on ray tracing whenever I'm streaming like this because of... Just curious. Does not look like I can do that without destroying my computer. So, on the inters in the first sector, only 2/10 down. So that is a good showing from him in the first sector. We'll go ahead and get these off as fast as possible so we can ride on board with Fridge. I'm more so I apologize if I'm pausing very frequently. I'm kind of using this also as a bit of a test bed to figure out some of the issues I've been having with my stream setup. But starting on board with Frigid, he runs down towards turn run. The sauce gets a decent run through there. Have to make sure to maximize the track width on exit, as that determines your run all the way down into Lacombe here. Not this corner, obviously. This is Rouge, but he goes down the Kennel straight here, burning a lot of battery. How much does he decide to recover here on the exit, or onto the entrance? Not very much, surprisingly. But he is 2/10 up on Secret Cape at the moment. The soft tires are still the tire to be on. I'm watching it, the telemetry right now. Soft tires are still the best. We'll see where Fridge can go in the second sector here. He does have a lot of battery heading into No Name. We'll see what sort of time he can do going now towards... I don't know why I'm forgetting my corner names. That was rather pathetic. Anyway, gonna continue along here towards Stavelo. We'll see if he can get this corner hooked up. This is another tricky corner, as it does determine your run all the way down towards the bus stop. He is up by 3/10 on Secret Cape's time. So even though the track is sort of a bit greasy at the moment, maybe a little bit wet from the inconsistent rain that we've been getting, Fridge is improving on his previous time. He's improving on Secret Cape's benchmark of a 152.6. We'll see where he can go up to the line here. Turns on the overtake to run across the line and do a 152.1. So 5/10 of just about 4/10 faster than the previous time. Music Fan in the Alpine coming across the line here. We'll see what sort of time he can do. He set a purple middle sector, but it does look like the lap time sort of falls away at the end of the lap. Secret Cape improving on Fridge's time here. So it looks like qualifying is not quite yet over, ladies and gentlemen. There's still some time to find here. Spark on the inters. I don't think he's going to find any time on the intermediate tire there. As I said, the soft tires are the tire to be on at the moment. I don't think that it's going to get much worse in the next 5 minutes either. We'll see where Secret Cape can go. Secret Cape doing a 151.6, improving by over a second on his previous time. So it does look like the track is improving by a significant margin here. So we could see a situation where whoever the last driver is on track is the driver that is going to snag this pole position. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here towards the end of qualifying. Very, very interesting to see what happens here towards the end of qualifying, for sure. Right on board with Kalanick here, as he's setting a lap in the McLaren. The Audi team principal, or sorry, not the Audi, the Alpine team principal going across the line to set a 153.2. Good enough for 5th position. I think that the order should shake up pretty significantly. Nova Stappen on the intermediate tire. I don't think he's going to find any relief from that tire. It's a bit wide there on the exit. We'll see what sort of time he can do, what his middle sector looks like. 1.3 seconds down on Secret Cape, which is a bit to be expected here. The soft tires are still faster by a significant margin. According to my telemetry, they are still about 0.8 seconds a lap sorry. They are about 2.5 seconds a lap faster than the intermediates right now. So the intermediates are definitely not the tire that you want to be on at this stage. Nova's going to come across the line here, and he is not going to improve as far as I can tell. So yeah, he is going to need to rush back to the pits here and get some soft compound tires on, because this strategy with the intermediates is not going to work out for him if he keeps giving it a go. Not going to give him what he needs to succeed here this weekend. Is anyone starting a lap? Like official in the Williams is starting a lap here. We're right on board with him for the moment. Rain is still falling intermittently here. But as I said, the soft tire's still the better tire to be on, even with a little bit of rain on the track. We'll see where he's not going to improve. So we'll get on board with Dust Incredible here on the softs, on the tire that you should be on. He's going to need to find some massive improvement here if he wants to go anywhere into the top 5. We'll see where the man in the Audi car can go as he runs that silver and orange Audi down towards Lakeholm. He is up by 0.2 on Secret Cape's time. So can he find an improvement enough to take away pole position, or did he just use a little bit too much battery there in the first part of the lap? He's going now down towards No Name. It looks like he had a bit of a scrappy run through the downhill right-hander earlier there. So we'll see where his second sector time ends up being, but he gets a bit wide on exit, and that actually invalidates his lap. So he'll have a chance to go again. He's going to slow down, I'm assuming, and he'll have another go at it, but already picking up about 5% tire wear on his tires. That shouldn't make too big of a difference. From what I'm seeing, it should not cost him a ton of time, but that is going to hurt his chances here as he goes through the third sector here, no doubt at a snail's pace to try and recomp some of that tire temperature that he's built up over the lap. We'll see where he's able to go towards the end here. Goes to the final corner to give himself some momentum. Now running down towards the first corner, we'll see where he can go as he goes a bit deep there through the first corner. That is going to hurt his time. Starting to look, he retiring from the session. Not sure what happened there. It looks like he had a bit of an accident. Spainless has left the session as well. Not sure what's going on there. That's Incredible is once again improving by 0.2 on that time, but has he has he started his lap a little bit too early? We'll see where Secret Cape, Sparkashira, and Fridge can go. Looks like those guys are in contention for the pole here. Unless Dust Incredible can get a good run here. It looks like somebody retiring from the session. Spark must have had some sort of incident as he is retired from the session. So he will not improve. Nova Snappin retiring from the session. Secret Cape improving on his time by about 0.1. We'll see where Dust Incredible can go here in the middle part of the lap. Where's his time at? 0.4 down on Secret Cape, but how much battery does he have to deploy here as he runs through the final sector? Maybe he'll have some time to find here with better battery management as he gives himself a chance here going down to the bus stop. Will he improve on his lap? Can he take away pole position from Secret Cape, who set a monstrous 151.6 in these mixed conditions? He gets a bit squirrely on exit. That's going to hurt his time to the line. It's good enough for second or third position, knocking Sparkashira down to fourth, but it is still long and far away from Secret Cape's time. Where can the Alpine driver go? He's improving by a massive margin here. He's improving by 0.7, and he's going to get a nice slipstream from his teammate going to the line. Not that it will make that much of a difference, but any amount of help helps this man in the Alpine to secure a dominant finish here in qualifying. Let's see where his lap time ends up going as he crosses the line. Does a 151 flat, 1.1 seconds faster than any other car in qualifying. That is a seriously impressive lap from Secret Cape. Seriously impressive stuff here from the man in the Alpine. It is certainly not too late as well to make a championship comeback. This is a bit of a longer season. We do run, I think, about 16 rounds in a season. We're only on round 5, so he has got some time to make up that championship gap. We'll see where the strapping young Indian man in the Alpine can go here today. We'll be watching with bated breath as we get into the race here. It will start dry, but as the race goes on, the weather is going to change a little bit. The conditions are going to deteriorate. Let's get the telemetry turned off for now. But yeah, as you can see, Secret Cape ahead of Bridge, ahead of Dust Incredible in the Audi. That makes your podium. Sparkashira setting his best time on the intermediate tire, having a bit of a moment there at the end of qualifying. Grand Alpaca and Colonic Whale will start together, I believe. Or no, Sparkashira, yeah. Grand Alpaca and Colonic will start together. Music Fan and Nova Snappin will start side by side. Wreck-It Riley, an official 1YTT, will start alongside. And Painless, if he was able to get back into the session, will... Oh, wonderful. Somebody started early, so that will be a penalty for them. Somebody did start early, so that is going to cost them. We'll find out who that is and administer the penalty accordingly. Hopefully the drivers have enough time to get their strategies and setups in order, as we are going to be underway very, very shortly here. See the waiting for other players. Oh, okay, very good. Okay, very good. Very, very good. Then we will await the time in which I decide to start the race here. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to get everything in order. We will likely start at, say, the 2:14 is probably a good time. We'll make it even. We'll start at 2:15. Start. You should have enough time to go to the bathroom. Don't worry about that at all. Don't worry. You're good. We're not going to start until 2:15, so if anybody starts before that, they will receive a penalty. You've got about 2 minutes to go. We will wait. Looks like the Ferrari driver, Painless, has left the server. Like he was decided to give up on the dream of racing an AGC, maybe a bit intimidated by the intensity of the grid. I receive a friend request from some random guy. Not sure who this guy is, but we'll ignore that for now. Pull this chat back up and pull my overlay back up. We've got about 1 minute to go here. We'll see what sort of strategy people opt for. I think it's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes before the rain starts to fall. So will some of the drivers opt for the hard tire to try and go to the end, or try and go to when the rain is going to fall, because the rain is going to fall for about 15 minutes. And I think that will play a factor towards the end of the race here. we'll sort of see where things end up, but I do think that that is going to play a factor here. It is 2:15, so we will be starting shortly. We will get this formation lap underway for the Belgian Grand Prix here. Just waiting, and waiting to see when we will get that beautiful camera angle of the pit straight. It's a bit unfortunate that as a spectator you kind of get stuck here with such a poor camera angle. It would be nice if, you know, maybe we were able to get able to look at individual drivers set on the grid. Maybe some stuff for F1 27 if EA decides to really put some effort in. I think the spectator mode really does need a big overhaul because it is a bit lacking at the moment. But we are just waiting now for people to ready up. It is time to go, so I'm not quite sure what we are waiting for at the moment. What are we waiting for? Gotta get going here. There we go. I hear the sound of the timer ticking down, which tells us that it is time for the Belgian GP. We are going to get underway here onto the formation lap. We'll see the drivers pull out of their pit boxes to start the first introductory tour of the circuit. We'll get the overlay pulled up here. Pull all of this up for everybody to see as the drivers head onto the formation lap. I'm going to make a quick adjustment. I realized I adjusted my telemetry settings and reduced the refresh rate. There's my IP for anyone who's interested. Feel free to boot me offline for 100 years if you so desire. As we run around the formation lap here, we'll see what sort of tires everybody is on. It does look like Secret Cape and Dust have opted for the hards. Some other drivers opting for a different style of compound. You have the Ferrari opting for mediums, the Red Bull of Stormy opting for mediums, Spark and Fridge in the Hasses opting for mediums as well. What's up, Jiffy? Just kidding, bro. What's up, bro? We're on board for formation lap here. We're gonna have a go here. Look at your best friends, the guys that you love so much in the Hasses. See if they can't sneak a win here after a bit of a poor qualifying from them. We'll see what they can do. That's Incredible will find himself in a Haas sandwich to start things off here as the drivers head into the bus stop to get ready to start this race. I already see some babbling going on in chat, so maybe some people getting into a bit of a tussle on the formation lap because I see some cars have been disqualified, but we'll see what happens here as they get lined up in their grid boxes. It looks like a good grid box from the two on the front row. We'll see how the run into turn one goes as the Ferrari is the final car to come up to the line here. Where can they go? We have the 5 red lights come on as we await the start of the Belgian GP. Can the Alpine hold on as we run down to turn one? It looks like a good start from Spark Ashira. It looks like he's going to, or sorry, a good start from Fridge as he jumps the Alpine. The Audi looking to the inside. They bang wheels on the inside of the corner. Looks like we already got some wing damage. And McLaren running wide on the outside of the track. That's Colonic Will, who's going to lose out. Fridge moving up into P1. We've got behind the Alpine of Secret Cape is already under threat from Grand Alpaca and Sparkashira behind. It's going to be very, very close here through Rouge and Radion as we head down the Camel Straight. Can the Alpine hold on? It looks like he can as a Red Bull goes onto the grass. We'll see where things can go here. The Haas and the Alpine side by side into turn 4. It looks like the Alpine will have to relent and allow the Haas through, which is going to make it a 1-2 for the drivers at the moment. It looks like Grand Alpaca is going to have a bit of a look here on the inside. Can the Alpine hold it around the outside as they go down towards No Name now? It would be nice to get a better angle here as we run down now to the end of the middle sector. Sparkashira already breaking almost a 1 second gap to Grand Alpaca here. Fridge also breaking a 1 second gap. So the Haas driver is getting a very, very good start here as the Alpine of Secret Cape, your pole position sitter, is absolutely tumbling down the order. He is struggling at the moment, already under threat from his teammate behind. Not sure what's going on there with the Alpine driver. It looks like he is not deploying as much battery as he could be. Maybe just saving a little bit to try and defend here. But he's got his teammate all over his gearbox. Is his teammate going to have a look on the inside here into the bus stop? It does not look like that will be the case. As we round up the first tour of asking, maybe the Aston Martin and Ferrari getting into a bit of entanglement as they run down now towards turn 1. The Aston Martin on the outside, can he hold it? Going around the outside of Grand Alpaca. It does look like he can. We have a Williams spun around. That is official 1 YTT who is looking at the wall. They're going to go side by side through Rouge and Radion. That is dangerous. That is also going to let Secret Cape have an opportunity here. Secret Cape through Rouge and Radion. That was some brave stuff as he runs down now towards Lake Home. Is going to let his teammate through as well, and maybe even the Mercedes of Nova Stappen as well. That is a big switcheroo there from the Alpines and the Mercedes on the Aston Martin and Ferrari, who used too much battery battling with each other, ended up losing out to the cars behind. Nova Stappen is on the defensive at the moment, sending a purple first sector against the Aston Martin, but I think he will be able to defend it if he can maintain his gap here. It is only about 3/10. We have a Ferrari running wide there out of the corner. As we run now down towards the final sector here. They all are filing single file through Stavolo. We'll see if anybody decides to launch an attack here in the final sector. This is a good place to try and overtake Grand Alpaca, thinking about a move maybe as he gets close to the gearbox of Wreck-It Riley. Nova Stappen alongside the Alpine of Auto. We'll see where he can go. It looks like he's going to move up into P4, attempting to hunt down his teammate, Auto's teammate, Secret Cape. Looks like there is a 10-second time penalty for Grand Alpaca, getting bumped off by the Red Bull. Some drama for the Ferrari driver, who looked like he was doing a fantastic job at the beginning of the race, but looks like he is going to pick up a 10-second time penalty, and his race is going to be in jeopardy here. As we run up through Rouge and Radion, can Nova Stappen find a way past your pole sitter of Secret Cape? They're running now down towards turn 4. The Mercedes thinking about a little bit of a look to the inside, but thinking better of it. He is 5/10 up on Sparkashira's best lap here. I would expect that very quickly the hard tires here are going to fire up, and they are going to be better than the medium tire. I'm not sure if the Haas drivers will be able to go until the rain, which appears like it will be coming in about 15 minutes time, which is well before the end of the race. Still have about 19 laps to go at about 1 minute and 40 seconds a lap. So 20 minutes from now, we'll leave about 10 minutes worth of racing left with the rain coming. So what will the drivers do in that situation. I would imagine that the hard tire runners are going to try and make those hard tires last as long as possible. Maybe the Haas drivers thinking that if we pit on to the medium, or pit onto another set of mediums, knowing that the rain is going to come anyway, we might be able to take advantage of that. As the Mercedes gets a bit squirrely on exit, maybe Secret Cape giving him a little bump in the rear. We'll see where they go as they head now down towards turn 1. The Alpine of Secret Cape very close to the gearbox of Nova Stappen as they run up towards Eau Rouge. Where can the Alpine find a way by? Where can he find a way to attack this Mercedes? Heading now down the Kemmel Straight. Does he have an advantage over Nova Stappen? It does look like he does have a slight overspeed, but it looks like Secret Cape is going to hold back for the time being, recharge his battery, and maybe just slowly try and work Nova's battery down. He does have a 30% battery advantage over the Mercedes driver, so he might be able to find a way by here, maybe in the third sector. It does look like Spark has closed the gap to his teammate. Only 9/10 separating the two Haas drivers now, the Constructors Champion leaders. Secret Cape going to think about a move to the inside. That would be a brave move there. Very easy to get pushed out wide, but it looks like he is going to have to relent. Nova does have 80% battery here, so they're about even on battery now. Secret Cape not able to take advantage of the battery advantage in order to get by in a bit of an unorthodox place. All the while, all of this battling is giving the Haas drivers the advantage that they need to sort of run away with this race. They already have a 5-second gap, and if they decide to come into the pits and strap on some new tires, they'll only lose, they won't lose nearly as much time as if these guys were actually working together. But it will be interesting to see where these guys can go. Tommy Loki picking up a time penalty, I believe, for track limits. Is Spark going to put his teammate under any pressure, or is he going to sort of behave here? We'll see. But for now, I want to keep on board with the Alpine on the back of Nova Stappen. If that gap between Spark and Fridge comes down more, we'll have a look and see what the case might be. But at the moment, it looks like Secret Cape and Nova Stappen on the hard tires, as far as I can tell, should realistically be able to go all the way to the rain. Right now, I'm being told that their hard tires will last until around lap 23. We'll see where the tire delta is at the moment as well. Right on board with Spark for just a moment. We can see sort of the strategy here. It does look like the hards are going to start to cross over. Yes, we're just at the crossover point here now. So on lap 5, these hard tires are going to start becoming faster than the mediums. So I would expect the lap times between Nova Stappen, Secret Cape, Sparkashira, and Fridge to start shifting a little bit. The pendulum going to swing back towards this duo's favor. Running now down into the bus stop. We'll see if they can take advantage. It does look like they have already gained a significant time to the two passes, already gaining a second and some change on that lap. So that is going to play into the hard driver's hands quite nicely if they can keep a decent gap to the Hasses, who are going to have to manage their tires here, as looks like their tires will only make it to about a lap 11. Nova Stappen under threat here from the Alpine, but the Alpine relenting once again. Looks like someone picking up a time penalty here. Looks like it was official 1YTT picking up a penalty, I believe. Yep, picking up a 10-second time penalty for going off the track and gaining a massive advantage. So he will suffer for that. We'll see what these drivers decide to do. When do the Haas drivers decide to come into the pits? Do they decide to go for a sizable undercut? A new set of hards right now would only be about 4/10 a lap faster than the hard tires of Nova Stappen right now. So now certainly not the time to pit, especially with track position. We are only about 12 minutes from the rain, give or take. So we should start to see the skies darken. I do believe you can see the clouds off in the distance there. So we'll also see where the times are looking in terms of pace. Realistically, the hard tire runners should be faster at this stage. So we'll see what sort of lap times they put up. Looks like Nova Stappen, yep, about 3/10 a lap faster last tour than two medium runners. So they are going to start bringing that gap down. Will they catch them before the Hasses come into the pits? I would imagine at around lap 10. We will see. I do think that the hard tire runners have made the correct strategy call. Their hard tires easily able to go until the rain, so they will only have to make one pit stop. The real question is, with the medium tire, a new set of medium tires at this stage would be about 1.6 seconds a lap faster than the hard tires. The question is, do these drivers start to have a battle? Do they forget the ultimate goal of race time as the Hasses in front eventually come into the pits? It will be interesting to see sort of what happens there with that, because Alpine is thinking about a move to the inside, covered off nicely by Nova. That was dangerous. That was very close to disaster. They run now down towards the third sector here. The Stavolo. We'll see if Secret Cape can find an opportunity to put the Mercedes under pressure, who he has been trailing for some time now. Deciding to save battery here. Not sure what the plan is. He's turning on and off the overtake. A bit of an unorthodox deployment strategy that is going to let Nova Stappen just sort of skirt away here and end up with the same amount of battery. Sparkus Shira making a move for the lead. It looks like Fridge is coming into the pit lane to put on some new mediums. So we'll see where his lap times end up going. As he runs into the pit lane here, we'll get back on board with Secret Cape looking to get past the Alpine here. The medium tires are about 1.5 seconds faster at this stage, so we will see if Fridge deciding to go into hards. Hards only 0.5 a lap faster than the hard tires of Secret Cape, who makes a move to the inside of the Mercedes, runs a bit wide, loses it on exit. That is going to cost him as he cuts Lecombe, but the Mercedes running wide as well. So the pair exchanging mistakes. That is going to let Dust Incredible have a bit of an opportunity here. He was only about 0.2 slower on the last lap. If these guys continue to make mistakes, that could bring him back into it. But it does look like the Hasses have gotten their strategy wrong, unless Sparkus Shira has started saving tires massively here. I think he is going to be in major trouble. It does look like his tires are doing well in terms of temperature, but you can just see the Alpine and the Mercedes closing in here. There is still 10 minutes until the rain, so he would have to go another 6 or so laps, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it without risking a puncture. So Sparkus Shira will have to come into the pits. His medium tires would be about 2.5 seconds faster than the tires that he's on right now, but how much faster will they be compared to the duo here of Secret Cape and Nova Stappen in the Mercedes and the Alpine as they go towards turn 1 here? Sparkus Shira coming into the pit lane, deciding to swap out those tires at this stage. Going on to, we'll see, another set of mediums. That is the right call. Oh no, he goes on to hards. I think that is the wrong call, as a new set of hards is only 0.7 a lap faster. He's only going to make up, if he's perfect every single lap, 0.7 or 7 seconds to these drivers here who are going at it. Obviously, they can play a hand here as well if they decide to battle with each other. 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane for official YTT, I believe. He is going to suffer the consequences of that. Dust Incredible is starting to sort of bring the gap down just a little bit. He was about a tenth slower than Secret Cape last lap, but on pace with these front runners here. So if they continue to battle, that could bring them back into it. The Haas of Spark Ashira 14 seconds clear of that Audi driver. So your front two at the moment, your net race leader, FSR Novastappen, doing a good job of getting his strategy call right on debut in the Mercedes. So we'll see what he can do here, if he can hold off Secret Cape. Looks like Colonic Whale picking up a 3-second time penalty for venturing off the track. The rain is coming very, very soon here. Only have a handful of laps before it starts to fall. The sun slowly fading away, but the battle here starting to ignite a little bit as the Alpine thinks about a move onto the inside of Novastappen. They're starting to get their elbows out like I predicted. We'll see where the Alpine can go. He's thinking about a move. Once again, we get awful camera angles, not quite showing just how close the Alpine is to the Mercedes gearbox. They're really running in each other's wheel tracks here. The Alpine is going to make a move to the inside through Rouge and Radion, and he's going to get it done slam dunk. But did he use too much battery? Does Novastappen have the battery to fight back here down the Kemmel Straight? Where can the Mercedes find a way by? Has he just gotten caught out by the Alpine? He is going to have to relent. So Secret Cape making a brilliant move there before Rouge. That was an impressive strategy call by him. Looking at the lap times behind, Bridge is not going faster than the cars ahead for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Even with the undercut, it looks like he is being held up by the Alpine of Otto. Otto doing a good job to sort of slow the Haas's down and even further solidify the lead for these three front runners. But Dust Incredible is going to eventually get into this fight here, as the rain will be coming anytime now. Was he a safety car? Safety car comes out. What do the drivers decide to do here? Do they decide to pull the trigger early and go on to the intermediate tire? Official YT retiring from the session with terminal damage. Did he maybe get a bit squirrely on the exit out of the first corner and give himself damage, or did he purposefully wreck? That will be something to see. I'm sure the drivers here, especially at the front, will be complaining, as that hurts their chances here. Secret Cape choosing to stay out. Does Novastappen come into the pits? Novastappen does come into the pit lane. I'm not sure if that's the right call, unless he's booting on to the intermediates. I think that that's a mistake. If he's putting on the intermediate tire, which he is, I think this may work out well for the Mercedes. It's a bit of a gamble. It's a bit of a gamble from the Mercedes. What does Dust Incredible go on? Dust goes on to mediums. I think that is a mistake from the Audi driver. I think Novastappen has gotten the strategy just right here, as the rain will likely start falling before the end of this safety car. At the moment, the intermediate tires are a tractor tire right now, but that doesn't really matter necessarily, because the rain is coming very, very soon. Did he pit just a little bit too early? We shall see. The cars behind are quite far off, so this will be a long safety car. I think that Novastappen has gotten this right once again, pitting onto the intermediate tire. As long as he can take care of them here on the first couple of tours of the circuit, I think he'll be in good shape. He just needs to bring these tires in gently and not sort of give himself too much wear before the safety car comes into the pits. He has already picked up about 1% tire wear, so he will need to be careful. He already picked up 2% tire wear. He needs to be very, very careful with these intermediates. He needs to be babying them, but it seems like he's pushing far too hard for these intermediate tires. Hopefully he slows his roll here as he comes back up to the gearbox of Spark Hashira to get ready to just file into this safety car. We do have, as these drivers head into sector 3, we have 2 cars heading down the Kemmel Strait, so it will be some time before the safety car comes in. The only 2 cars on the intermediate tire right now are Grand Alpaca and Novosad, but I think they have made the right call here, as the rain is going to start falling any moment now, from what I'm being told by my weather expert. My quote-unquote weather expert is telling me that the rain will be falling at any moment. We'll ride on board with the Alpine here for the time being, so we can see exactly when that rain starts to fall, as that will be very important to his race. It'll be very, very important to see what he can do. Spark Hashira deciding to come into the pit lane to put on intermediates at the end of this lap. Maybe trying to cut his losses a little bit, as he is going to be pretty cooked if he's not on the intermediate soon. Anybody here who is not on the intermediate tire is in trouble. Anybody who's not on the intermediates at this stage is going to be in trouble. So we do see a lot of drivers deciding to come into the pit lane. The rain coming any moment now. Bridge staying out on the hard tires, Secret Cape staying out on the hard tires in the race lead. I think their races are going to suffer as a result. Spark Hashira should pick those positions up rather quickly, as we just await the rain to start coming down here on lap 12 of 22. So just about halfway through this race, we shall see a big mix-up in the order. Wreck-It Riley on the hard tire not coming into the pits. I would say that anybody on the intermediate tire has done a good job. Everybody else on the dry compound tires, they are going to be struggling here very, very quickly, as I think the safety car is going to be out for about another lap or so. And by that point, I do believe the rain is going to be coming down. Right now, the hard tires are still 3 seconds a lap. A brand new set of hard tires are 3 seconds a lap faster. We can see how much faster Secret Cape tires are. Secret Cape on the hard tires. We'll wait for the telemetry to refresh. But his hard tires are going to be about 3 seconds faster than the intermediates behind. But when does the rain start to fall? We are waiting with bated breath to see exactly when this rain is going to start dripping down from the sky onto the Formula 1 cars here. It should be coming at any time at this point. I'm sure the drivers are asking the race engineer when it's coming. It's coming right now. As you can see, the lines on the screen, the rain is starting to fall. So every second the safety car is out now is an advantage for the intermediate tire runners. Novosad has already picked up 4% on his intermediates, but that doesn't matter necessarily too much, as I think that he is going to have an advantage here. Secret Cape decides to come into the pits out of the race lead, getting the strategy wrong. So he is going to suffer. He is going to fall back a significant margin. We'll see if he can make up some positions towards the end of the race. Wreck-It Riley and Fridge staying defiant on their hard tires. The gap between the intermediates and the hards already dropping by a second. I think Fridge has made a mistake here. I think the safety car will likely be in at the end of this lap. So all of the cars on the dry tires, they are going to be in trouble here. They are still faster by a little bit of a margin. We'll see by exactly how much as we hop on board with Fridge here under the safety car. We'll see where his tires are at in terms of pace here in just a moment. Rain is really starting to fall here. It is going to get very intense here shortly. The hard tires are still about 2.5 seconds faster than the mediums, or than the intermediates. So we'll see where Fridge is able to go. I do believe the safety car should be in at the end of this lap, assuming that Stormy Loki can get caught up to the safety car by the time we get to sector 3. I think that the safety car has gone on long enough for it to end here, even if the Red Bull driver does not catch up to the back of Colonic Whale in the Mercedes. Secret Cape pole positions that are down in P10 now, but I believe he will gain about 4 positions due to the benefit of this rain. Will the safety car come into the pits this lap? Will Fridge have an advantage over the intermediate runners for a couple of laps here, as there is a bit of bumping here under the safety car from the Aston Martin? Safety car is going to be in this lap, so we will ride on board with Verstappen in the race lead. He gets the strategy right. He is going to dictate this race restart in the Mercedes. He did a great job of getting the strategy right at the beginning of the race. He chose the right lap to pit onto the intermediates when the safety car came out, and now he is standing to benefit greatly here as he determines the restart so long as he can keep Fridge behind. The hard tires look like the hard tires are already worse than the intermediates. If the hard tires are actually already worse than the intermediates, as Verstappen gets the run out of the final corner, this could spell disaster for our dry compound runners. No, it does look like the hards are still about a second a lap faster than the intermediates, but Verstappen getting far ahead of the drivers as we have a little bit of bumping through turn 1. This is going to be great for Nova as he gets away from the other drivers up through Rouge and Radeon. It looks like Fridge has cleared Wreck-It Riley in the Aston Martin. Can Fridge hunt down the race? We have a car getting sent into the wall. Wreck-It Riley going off the track and banging into the walls. Does he get his car back on track? Where can he go? What sort of damage does he have? It looks like he has massive front wing damage to his Aston Martin. He is going to pick up a boatload of penalties there. Let's get back on board with Fridge in the pass. We'll see where he can go with these hard tires. He should still have an advantage at this stage over the intermediates. So we'll see once the temperature refreshes where he can go. The rain is going to be with us for the rest of the race here. So we'll see where he can go. The intermediates are 2 seconds a lap faster now at this stage, so Fridge is going to be in trouble here. I think he is going to end up being out of this race, maybe even out of the point scoring positions, because he did not pit onto the intermediates under the safety car. I think he's going to be under threat from Dust Incredible and Spark Shira behind, who are battling with each other at the moment. Can Spark Shira find a way past Dust Incredible in the Audi, who has, by his own admission, struggled quite a bit with these new cars, but with the wet weather, that will eliminate things quite a bit in terms of the battery management. It will be basically flat out from here to the end. Auto getting a bit of a run here maybe on Spark, as Secret Cape in the Alpine has already moved back up into 5th place. Long way off from the race lead, which he once held at the beginning of this race, but he will have a chance of scoring some good points here if he can get past his teammate relatively soon. Will Dust Incredible be able to bridge the gap to Verstappen? Will Verstappen's tires start to fall off towards the end of the race here? We do have about 8 laps left of racing, so we will see where he can go. Here, Secret Cape trying to defend from his teammate. I think he just got past him. We'll see where Secret Cape can go. I think that the battery and straight line mode is still enabled, so the track not getting declared damp yet, I do believe. Unless I'm incorrect, which we can see here in just a second. 1 second here. It does not look like the track has been declared damp yet. Track has not been declared damp just yet, so we will see what happens next. We do have quite a few laps of racing left, but this battling between Secret Cape and his teammate has dropped the 1 second gap to Spark Hashira, who is going to be hunting down the Audi ahead. What will the two Alpines do? Do they decide to work together here, or are they going to duke it out to the end of the race here, fighting over that 4th position? We will see. There's certainly enough time for them to hunt down Spark if they decide to work together with each other and not put each other under pressure. We'll see what happens here as they run down towards turn 1. Where can they go? Last lap, Dust Incredible was about 5/10 faster than Nova Stappen ahead. So Dust Incredible looking like your favorite for the race win at the moment if he can hunt down the Mercedes of Nova, who had a great safety car restart. The track is still not declared damp yet, so the track not deteriorating maybe as much as we thought. I think we should still see boost being able to be used here, unless I missed the declaration. We'll see here if any of the drivers have the bravery to use overtake mode or use the boost here. It looks like it has been disabled because I'm only seeing the front wings opening, so must have missed the message declaring the track damp, so that is unfortunate. But we're going to ride on board with the Alpines for the time being. We'll see if they can get past each other, or if they're just going to hold station and behave here towards the end of the race on lap 16. It would be good for their Constructors' Championship hopes if they were to cooperate here. They certainly are not out of the fight. It's still anybody's game, really, if they were to stick together here and work together to finish in a respectable 4th and 5th position. That's Incredible is still hunting down Nova for the lead, so I think we may switch here shortly to the driver in the Audi looking to hunt down the Mercedes in the camera, the cockpit cam there. So we'll see if Dust can find a way to catch up to Nova. Nova obviously running assists. That is going to hurt his chances here with the traction control. That really hurts your race pace in the wet. Ask me how I know. So we'll see if Dust Incredible can get past the Mercedes. This will be an interesting battle to the end. We have about 6 laps of racing left to go. So can the Audi find a way to get his maiden victory here in AGC? We'll all be watching very, very closely to see if he can. The gap has already come down to about a second. So can he find a way to make it work here? The Canadian looking to make a statement here as a reserve driver, I believe. Looking to make a statement that, hey, I am a real contender here for the title. I am a real never knew. Oh my gosh, the Audi very close already to the Mercedes of Nova Stappen. Very, very close here as they go down towards the bus stop. Dust Incredible pulling to the outside line. Is he going to be able to get past? Yes, he is. He is able to get past the Mercedes of Nova Stappen into the bus stop. Can Nova Stappen find a way to fight back here on the exit of the corner? Maybe. Or maybe Dust Incredible is going to run away with it here, ladies and gentlemen. He has made the move down into the bus stop, and it looks like he is going to hold it unless Nova Stappen can get a good run on him here. Rouge and Radion. We'll see what happens here. The slipstream is a big factor. Will the Mercedes be able to get a run? It does look like he has dropped back a little bit off of the Audi. I don't think that he is going to have a chance to have a look here unless he starts gaining by a significant margin, which he is not. He only gains about 2/10 on the straight here. I think that is going to be just incredible as your race leader. I think he is going to be able to run away with it here, as Verstappen was 2 seconds a lap slower than the man in the Audi on the last tour of things. Somebody retiring into the pit lane. Looks like Leaks is going to call it quits here as he retires into the pit lane. Not going to score points here today. So that is going to be disappointment for him. You can just see the track has deteriorated by a significant margin. The surface reflective like glass with water. That's incredible. Already breaking that gap. Grand Alpaca also retiring his car, deciding to come out of the pit lane though, so it will retire on track, hopefully not causing any issues. Top 10 scored points here, so everybody who has finished this race will end up scoring points. The real question is just how many points will they score. Fridge is getting close. Fridge got the strategy right, Leo. He pit very early onto the intermediate tires, and that did help him significantly in terms of allowing him to have a good, allowing him to have a good safety car restart. We got 3 laps left to go. I think the only change of positions that could happen at this stage is between the 2 Alpine drivers here. We'll see if Fridge can get a run on Stormy here in a couple laps. I do believe he can. Will the Alpine be able to go at his teammate here? He's very, very close. Is he going to try a late move down the inside into Lecombe? He pokes his nose to the inside, gets a better run through the second corner. Can he find a way past his teammate? Secret Cape is moving over to defend a little bit, but the Alpine is going to try another move down the inside here. He is going to cause Secret Cape to run wide, which is going to give the Alpine a bit of a run here into No Name. He holds back for the time being. We'll see where the Alpine of Otto can try and find a way past his teammate of Secret Cape. Newly picked up Alpine driver, the Repulsitor, who's running in 4th position. Can Spark find a way past Nova as well? Spark was a couple of tenths faster than Nova on the last tour of things, so maybe Spark can find a way past Nova as well. But that's incredible, benefiting massively in the wet conditions here. Can Otto just find a way to get past his teammate here? Doesn't look like he will have a chance here. I do want to see, do any cars have access to Hot Lap? Does not seem like any of them do. We'll see Nova Stappen really quickly, see what we can see from him, and then we'll get back on board with the Alpine driver. It looks like medium down the board here. Auto getting ahead of Secret Cape for just a moment into turn 1. These drivers are going to be very close here as they run up towards Origin Radion on the 20th tour of asking, can the teammates keep it clean into Lecombe, or are we going to see carnage and disaster for the Alpine? The Alpine of Otto is very close to his teammate here. He is going to pull alongside of his teammate. Secret Cape trying to cover him off a little bit. That might be something for the stewards to look at. Auto is going to try and hang it around the outside. He is there. Secret Cape forces him off the road. That will be looked at very closely by the stewards as well. Mercedes 2016. I'm not, I did not start watching. Oh, are you talking about Brosades? Is that the year of Brosades? Oh yeah, 2016 Mercedes in Spain. Yeah, maybe there is a chance, Leo. There is a chance that that might occur here. These Alpine drivers are getting very feisty with each other. Sparkashira is still catching Nova Stappen as well, so we might hop on board as that is a fight for a P2, fighting for the second step on the podium. We'll see if he can get past there. Otto thinking about a move to the inside once again. He is very close to his teammate of Secret Cape here, running now down towards the bus stop. Will he be able to find a way past his teammate in the next 2 tours of asking? He is going to have a slipstream here. Is that going to be enough for him to have a look into the bus stop? Secret Cape does cover the inside line on his teammate. Is Otto going to be able to find a way to get a statement to set the tone in this teammate rivalry between himself and Secret Cape? Secret Cape once again covering off the inside line. That is going to hurt his run, though, out of the corner. That's going to give another opportunity to Otto to have a chance of having a look here through Rouge and Radion. The Alpine closing ever closer in on Secret Cape. It does look like the Alpine got a much worse run on this tour of asking, so he will have to relent on the penultimate tour unless he can find a way through in an unorthodox place, which I don't think that he will be able to, but I would love to be corrected on that. Will the Alpine as well, will Otto Music Fan report his teammate to the stewards, or will we see team orders coming in saying, look, you guys are welcome to battle, but I'm not trying to have our drivers pick up penalties, as Fridge might have a chance at getting back into this battle in terms of if penalties are administered. If a 5-second penalty were to be administered to either of these drivers, with the pace Fridge has, he will be close enough on the final tour to have a say there. Sparkashira now catching up to Nova on the last lap. This will be an interesting battle to watch. Will Spark be close enough by the time they get to the Camel Straight to give the Haas an opportunity against Nova Stappen in the Mercedes, who has dropped off despite getting the strategy right? His pace falling off in the rain here, just slipping away as we go to the final lap of asking. Sparkashira is about a second and some change behind of Nova Stappen, so can he find a way to get past the Mercedes on this final tour? It will be interesting to see. He is going very slow here through the first couple of corners. It looks like he may have a little bit of wing damage. He has about 13% wing damage on his front wing. I wonder where that might have come from. He was 0.2 faster than Nova Stappen last lap, but can he find a way through? He won't be able to find a way through for the time being, but can Otto find a way through on his teammate here on the final tour of asking? Fridge is only 5 seconds up down the road here from these two, so if Secret Cape does end up picking up a penalty for that incident that happened a couple of laps earlier, what will happen here? Otto is going to likely try a move here. Is he going to think about a move onto the inside? Secret Cape comes off well as they run down the hill here towards No Name. Where can the Alpine try and find a way around his teammate? Doesn't look like Sparkashira will have a chance at getting past this, getting past Nova Stappen for the podium position. Nova Stappen will likely be able to hold on to his P2 unless he makes a mistake here. But can the Alpine driver, who has been sizing up his teammate for the last couple of laps here, find a way through? He tries maybe a move around the outside. That was a bit close. Sparkashira moves up into second position. I'm not sure what happened there between him and Nova Stappen. Nova Stappen maybe having a moment that is going to cost him greatly as Secret Cape tries to hold off his teammate here towards the end. We missed that incident. Maybe the stewards will have a look and see if maybe Sparkashira did something to the Alpine or to the Mercedes, but it will be Destin Incredible getting his maiden victory. He was quick in the rain. He got the strategy somewhat right. His pace paid off. Sparkashira will come into a provisional second place. Nova dropping down the order. I'm not sure what's going on with Nova. Is he running out of fuel? That is likely what has happened to the Mercedes driver He ran out of fuel towards the end, which will promote Secret Cape and Otto to a higher position. Secret Cape taking your final podium position. It was a very good race for the drivers here. Dust Incredible will take your race win, a well-deserved win for the Audi driver. Sparkus Shira taking second, Secret Cape in third, running out your podium. Otto not able to find a way past his teammate, will take fourth position. Bridge in fifth position after getting the strategy wrong, recovers nicely to pick up some good points. Nova Stappen running out of fuel, which will cost him that P2 finish. Very unfortunate for him. He will be disappointed that he just missed out on the opportunity to get a podium on his debut. Stormy will come in seventh ahead of Colonic Whale. The AI of Spainless will not pick up points here, obviously, so that will promote Wreck-It Riley to P9, and that will round out your Belgian GP. It does look like there are some incidents to be looked at. Fridge is not happy with the driving standards of some of the drivers, so we will see if there are some penalties administered. Some damage control may need to be done. Doesn't look like he's very happy with some of the drivers. But as far as the wet weather spa goes, it was an interesting race. That's Incredible coming from third on the grid to win the race, doing a very good job. We'll have a look at the incidents here and see what happened between all of the drivers. Official YT getting a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and then DNFing. Very interesting to see. We'll see if maybe he wrecked himself on purpose, which would pick him up a penalty. Was a good race for most, I do believe. But if you did make it to the end, I do appreciate it. Let's have a look at the calendar. We'll see where the next race might be able to go. We're going to be at Hungary in 7 days from now, Saturday. We'll see where some of the drivers can bounce back after some disappointing performances here at the circuit Spa-Francorchamps. I think it was a great race. If you made it all the way to the end, I do appreciate you watching. We'll see where the results end up shaking out after penalties and whatnot. But once again, if you did make it to the end, I do appreciate it. I will catch you guys in the next stream, which will be tomorrow for FSR, another commentary stream. So I hope to see you guys then.